Let's just see how we're going. Oh dear. So apparently I'm playing VGA Sharks right now. Not quite sure. What would be amazing is if you could put any game in there. I mean, I might as well tell them I'm playing Dota. I'd probably actually get some viewers. Let's do that. Let's put Dota in there. Because you don't seem to get a choice to not put an option in there. So there we go. And we'll just tweet that one. Okay, well, this is, as advertised, VGA Planets. This is a space strategy game from originally from the early 90s that I played the hell out of back when it was in the bulletin board era. People would download the game from the bulletin board server. They play their turn, they submit it for hosting. The host would run the turns. It's like an 11-player chess game. Each player has one of 11 sci-fi races. Specifically, you can see here we've got they're all based on popular culture. That's an interesting one. That's a new race actually that I didn't realize they'd implemented yet. So we've got the Federation, the Borg, the Gorn, Romulans, Klingons, Ferengi. I believe they're privateers of the Ferengi, Tholians, the Evil Empire, the Cylons from Battlestar Galactica, the Rebel Alliance, the Battlestar Galactica protagonist, whose name always eludes me. I'm sure that's going to lead to rage in the comments. And this, I believe, the Wasp Plague are based on Species 8472 from Star Trek Voyager. I have no idea beyond that. Let's see, apparently. Oh, we're not going to activate. Actually, yeah, let's activate them. Let's see what this new race has. Okay. So you play, you sign up, you create your profile. It's a completely free game. You can pay for certain privileges. It does feel like pay to win in some respects, as you can see. And I'll cover these as you go on, as you go further. But otherwise, you sign up, and then you've got, you can play any of these. You can only play one in each game at any given time. And there are thousands of people up here that play. And anyway, we're going to dive in. I'm dying to see what these guys have available to them. This very much feels... Yeah, this looks like I'm going to need to sit down and actually care about learning that one. So we're going to play the Federation because, well, what else? It's going to be familiar for everyone. This is not my main profile. This is a profile made purely for YouTube purposes. Entirely for YouTube purposes. I have no intention on playing this outside of YouTube purposes. Let's see. We want to... my games. Start game. You have almost tutorial campaigns for single player levels. You can also make full single player maps against computer opponents. I haven't done that for a while now because each turn, the turns will start quite easily enough. We'll play level 1 just to showcase this, because this is actually kicking off a new playlist on the channel. Basically, what the fuck is insert game here, and we're going to start with my channel's namesake, because why not? And then probably once a week or once a fortnight I'm going to pick another game at random that was completely obscure, completely unnoticed and underappreciated possibly, and we're going to play it for half an hour or so. So we're going to start here. Basic training. Welcome to the Echo Cluster. I'm going to quickly check. Yes, according to OBS, this is running fine. I don't know how music's going, or whether it's perhaps being drowned out by me. We have a little assistant here who will change. They change appearance based on what race you're playing, but they don't actually change their function or their text. They might change how they refer to you, but otherwise, I like this guy. He's a cute little turtle guy. He's Turtle Man. So you start. This is your dashboard. You can come and go from this anytime you like. I'm just going to turn off my phone's audio. This is the star map for this map. Most games will be huge, 500 planets in each direction, or 500 planets in total, covering, I think it's 2,000 light years. This, for the sake of a tutorial, is purely, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's 8 planets. Nothing huge. And frankly, the spread is entirely on in our favor too. Great job, this is a star map. You can move the map by clicking and dragging. Task, locate your homeworld. Find the blue square planet and select the planet. Each of the circles represents a star system with a habitable planet. Squares represent planets within a star with a star base. Blue planets are yours, and red planets are your enemies, and grey planets are unknown. True to an extent, I can pick this enemy planet here, but then we can actually change the colour of our enemy. We go back here to dashboard, and we will go to diplomacy, and we've got our enemy, who is also Federation, and we can change them to, we'll change them to pink, just because we can. See? And it's very handy to do that, color coding, when you've got 11 other players in a game. Very handy to color code them. So, this is our homeworld. Congratulations, you just found your home. Your homeworld is the heart of your empire. You have a large number of colonists, a starbase, and many resources here. True. Every other planet would generally try and fuck you pretty hard. The first task is to put 100 more factories and 100 more mines to increase production. So we'll do that. We'll go to build, and you can raise them by 1, or you can raise them by 10. Mines will extract minerals from your planet. We can't do a mining survey. It used to be the original version of this game used to be able to bring up a map with a representation of the planet and then a pie chart that showed the density of each mineral. We just get fractions or representations here. So we're going to build mines, and you can see as we go up here, this number will increase. So we'll build 100 more mines. Okay, so neutronium is the fuel that ships use to move around. Uranium, tritanium, and molybdenum will be used in varying proportions to make ship hulls, fighters, engines, weapons. I don't know, you don't make shields individually, but you do get shield bonuses for certain races. And we want 100 more factories. Lovely. You can also set it to make a target here, and so what the computer will do each turn automatically for you, if you set a target there, is it will expend all of the resources available to it on that planet to reach that target as far as possible. Now, if you're trying to save up for something, it's best not to do that. Defense is something that can make a difference, especially early in the game. If you think someone's gonna rush you with a fairly mediocre ship that they can build straight off the bat, then you can max that out, and it will do you some good there. But otherwise, it costs a hell of a lot. 4 credits in a supply, 3 mega credits in a supply versus 10 mega credits in a supply. So we're not going to go building that up too far. We're going to go with more or less what Turtleman is suggesting for us for the time being. What was our job? Raise the tax rate to 10%. So we've got 2.6 million people living here. They're presently pretty fucking happy because they don't pay tax. We're going to tax their freeloading asses to 10%. We now get every turn 526 mega credits. Sounds like a lot. It sure as hell ain't. Stupendous Commander. Now we will gain... Well, we were only a cadet a few messages ago. We've been promoted already. Now we will gain more money and resources each turn. Whenever we colonize new planets, we will need to build factories and mines. True enough. So each planet, as you can see... we can't really see much about it yet. We don't know anything about it. We don't know if it has natives or if it's owned by anybody yet. I will pause here to mention that each planet has a friendly code. Is that something that will have been apparent there? Is a friendly code. We don't know what this planet's friendly code is. A friendly code is a 3-digit or 3-letter number code that you can put in there, and if 2 ships have the same friendly code, they won't attack each other. You can also set this to do certain things. For example, to attack all ships, to attack fueled ships, to beam up money, and so what will happen there is You can set these things to automate certain functions, and when the game goes to host the turn, to process everyone's turns and spit them out again for everyone to play their next turns, it does things in a certain order, and the best players will know exactly where in the order these things happen. For example, ships set to beam down or beam up something will do that immediately before their movement gets calculated, so you can beam up fuel and then move in the one turn. It's important to work out what order these things go in, because everyone else is going to know this, and they will fuck you pretty hard. So we're just going to set it to attack anything that enters orbit, because frankly nothing's going to enter orbit that we can't take out at this end of the game. And we're going to go to our freighter. We're going to load our freighter with some colonists. What have we got? We've got 4 planets around here, so we're going to give it... well, no, not that many. This freighter can only hold 200 kilotons of anything, so we're going to give it 20 clans of colonists. So each clan of colonists is 100 people. So we've got 2,000 people on this freighter right now. With that, we'll give them 100 supplies. I reckon if we have enough to put, we do that, because you need at least, I think, 20 clans on a planet before they'll start breeding. Fuel we don't need to worry too much about, and we'll set our waypoint to Remit. Speed we just set warp 9 because why not? And you'll see the fuel. Now you can save a bit of fuel. Each planet has gravity. Well, each star system has gravity. Each planet has gravity. It's called a warp well. And so if you zoom in, you'll see the game actually shows that this space here around the planet that's pixelated, I guess, you can move around there without any fuel costs. But if you're moving beyond warp 3, I think it is, then you're automatically drawn to the planet itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to cheese this a bit. We're going to set our waypoint there, as we save, in this case, a whole point of fuel. But when we're talking about moving around Borg cubes or a fucking Death Star, yes, you can build a Death Star. That fuel saving is a fair bit, and it adds up. So we'll go there, and so when the computer processes the turn, it'll move him there, and then it will calculate the planet's warp well, which will drag him the whole way in. Mission, we're just going to do a sensor sweep. It's just going to tell us if there are ion storms or whatnot going around, and we'll just randomize the friendly code. You can click there once to randomize it, just to stop people from boarding your ship. There are racers out there that can use friendly codes to capture ships. You can also use friendly codes to give a ship, which happens a fair bit. You'll have players playing in teams. Certain races give certain advantages. For example, a Gorn ship can survive up to 150% damage before it goes kaboom. So giving that advantage to, say, Death Star would be fairly sizable. Federation ships, I believe, get an extra few fighter bays. So giving that to a Borg cube, again, is an advantage. So people will form alliances that play to the strengths of the ships and the races within that alliance. And every combination has its strengths too. Except Olians. Fuck the Olians. They have minefields that will just sap your ship's fuel, and then they keep your ships, and then they turn around and beat you with them. Fuck the Olians. There's some brilliant players out there. In fact, one of the first friends I made in this game was a Tholian player. It was a very good one. So that's that done. That's our only ship. We can name our ship. We're going to call it the, I don't know. USS Pineapple. It kind of looks pineapple-y. So we'll go to our starbase, and we shall, from here, this is where we build ships, and this is why our planet is a square. That's not denoting a homeworld, that's just denoting a starbase. Okay, so our task here is to raise the hull tech to 6 and the engine tech to 10. Okay, before I do this, I'm going to just, we'll go into build ship, and we'll just show the significance of it. Here we've got our hulls, from Outrider class scouts to terraforming ships. We'll raise the temperature of a planet by 1 degree each turn until it reaches 50. This one will lower it by a degree. Desert or Arctic worlds will kill colonists that exceed certain population limits. We also have this one. Bioscanners will detect native life around the ship so that you don't have to park yourself over it and eyeball it yourself. There are natives out there that will eat your people alive. This is a very handy feature. We've got larger freighters, we've got big fuck-off freighters, we've got an alchemy ship that turns supplies into minerals. They're very handy later in the game. There are fuel transports. This is the only fighter that the Federation has, and I don't really bother with it. And of course we have the USS Enterprise, a Missouri-class battleship which has probably the single shittiest fuel capacity of every ship in the game. Even the flagship has a fairly average fuel capacity, actually. This is what we're going to be building. Nebula-class cruiser. They're a staple. They're maneuverable. They have weapons. They've got they do all the things that warships do without being crippled like this. This is a nice battleship, but they don't go far. So we're going to. That said, what hull tech? So this is hull tech 6. What have we got? 5, 4, 3, 2. So a few token ones, and then we immediately hit 6. So we're going to do that, and we're going to give it different technology for the engines here. We're going to upgrade to Tech 10. No, transport drives do not work like they do in Star Trek Voyager, alas. We're going to give it shitty weapons because the real meat is going to come from the torpedoes. We're going to give it Mark 6 photon torpedoes. And we're going to build that. Next turn we will have a warship. And that really is all we can do this turn. We've already given our ship orders. Let's see. Okay, well we've already done that, so we're just going to skip straight past that. We're going to go back to the dashboard. In other games, you can send ambassadors and troll them with communication and stuff. These are features that will show as we're going along. It's got its own way of playing combat. It does have a simulator that... here we go, battle simulator. So just for gits and shiggles, we'll pick your typical Borg cube, an Annihilation class battleship. We'll pitch it against a Death Star. Where is it? Glorby class battle carrier. Okay. Now I recall that there is a school of thought that there is actually an advantage to being on one side of the screen to the other, that one side gets the shot off first. I can't remember which one, but back when I played this daily, that was again a big thing. You would set ship's friendly codes. I think the ship with the friendly code of a lower numerical value would go first. Anyway, it doesn't actually. I want to see it go. Let's see. Can we actually play? Oh, there we go. Run sim. There we go. So both ships are maxed out. You can see what the game represents fighters as being. The weapons are recharging. The cube's going to get torn a new one. Game's attempt at torpedoes. There's not a hope in hell that this cube is going to win, as you see. But what we'll do now is we will pick a bias side. So the Borg have a carrier as well, and we're going to give it a Federation crew. And we'll pitch it against a Gorn Death Star. If it gets in shiggles. And then I'll get back to actually running the turn and finishing this game so I can play some Baldur's Gate. So now we have 13 fighter bays. 10 heavy phasers, but the Death Star can take up to 150% damage. But it's looking like those fighter bays are going to make the difference. They're going to overwhelm that Death Star. Yep, there we go. There we go. So racial alliances and traits can be very, very critical in this game. Also, whichever side lost each of those would be crying because those ships cost a fucking mint to produce. Anyway, back home, we're going to end turn. Okay, so nothing happened this turn. We've found a planet, and we've made our Nebula class cruiser. Yeah. Doesn't look like there were any natives on this planet. No, that makes me sad. You need to remember though that your warp well is still set out there. If that's going to be, if you're going fast, you can actually run out of fuel just by marking time. So we'll set the next waypoint there. We will beam down. We'll do that. So we'll just do that. 30 supplies, and we'll move on. And so next turn that'll be our planet. We'll name this. Just name that ship Jeff, because why not? And we're going to give him, let's see, we'll set him to make torpedoes as he's going. Make 60 maybe not 60, make 40 30 torpedoes. Give him 150 kilotons of fuel, and we're just going to send him straight. We're going to send him on a run straight to the other side. What we will do is just show his range. Is that the range? Oh, no, that's not it. It's definitely the range. Oh, we haven't set a speed yet. There we go. That'll show us how far he can actually travel in a given turn. Oh, and that blue circle was if we had a hyperdrive ship, then that's how far that ship could travel in that circle. So you can travel from planet to planet stealthily, or we can just kamikaze it. We'll go stealthily, like that. Because we're doing it that way, warp wells are less significant. And so tell him to make torpedoes along the way. He doesn't need so much fuel, so we're going to dump 100 of this back. And of course fuel has weight, so that's going to make it easier for him along the way. Well, that's really all we can do with him. He's got his orders. What we're going to build this turn. Yes, we will. Turtleman was just reminding me to set that ship's mission to kill for obvious reasons. Oh, we're going to build another one. We're going to give it cheaper everything this time though, because we've made our point. Except for the torpedoes, we're still going to do that. Hyperdrive 8 won't make a big difference. It just means that the ship's going to move a bit slower, but at the same time, resources. I am always mindful of resources, and that's this turn done. How's our population going? What's our up? 10% is the highest we can go before we lose happiness. Population happiness is relevant once you hit 70%-ish. That's when the population will start to riot. Also because the happier, they're getting it on more and we get more people each turn. 10% seems to be where the game wants us, for whatever reason. So, dashboard. Calculate that turn. I'm not blind to the little freighter running around below. Don't care. Okay, so we're in control of one planet. Now we've got Bundy. What's here at Bundy for us? Natives, insectoids. Okay, insectoids are a race that will give us, I believe, additional income each turn. So we can tax the crap out of them. Other races, bovinoids. Yes, they're cows. Bovinoids will give us supplies every turn, which are also fantastic. In fact, bovinoids are my favourite. You've got others, amphibians. I can't think of the names of the others now, but the others will give you a tech boost straight up to tech level 10 if you build a starbase on that planet, which, again, very handy, especially if you're a cheap ass like me playing a free profile, because you will get those bonuses even though you wouldn't otherwise be able to upgrade your tech past tech level 7. So, we're going to, again, dump our colonists. Moving on to Edna. Arcavian, if you're playing a cyborg player, you will start assimilating the natives. Yes, it's great for your own population growth, but you're not going to get the benefits of that race. So, if, for example, you might have to population control yourself a bit until you're ready to build a starbase, get that bonus, and then by all means put the natives to the sword. We'll randomize our friendly code again. Jeff's on his way. Mission, kill my pretty. Oh, you can lay the torpedoes can also be converted into mines. So we can lay a minefield, and ships going through there have, I think it's a 10% chance per light year of being struck by a mine. We're not going to do that. We want to use our mines to kill the enemy. Because I, again, would like to play through this in reasonable fashion and play some Baldur's Gate. So 50, and we'll give him another 30. Mission, no, that one won't make torpedoes. Mission, kill Warp 8. 2 turns away. Or 3. Yeah. We'll hit them with both at once, because why not? Okay, now our new planet. Remit. Friendly code 605. So if you know the friendly code of a planet, even if it's not yours, if you know the friendly code of it, then you can match your ship with the planet. Not only will they not attack you, but you can beam up their resources. So we've got... I usually just pour it all straight into... Whoops. That was close, into factories, because then they'll produce supplies that we can then sell to make other things. Putting it all into mines would have screwed me in pretty quick order. And because we've got 2,000 people on the planet, they will start breeding at a noticeable rate. Okay, well, going to our starbase. We've got our ship lined up for this turn. No, we haven't. We might as well just keep up with... Oh, no, we can't. We're broke, apparently. Whoops. Well, because we're broke, we won't build a ship this turn. Hopefully these two will get the job done anyway. So, dashboard, end turn. We should be able to build something next turn. If not, we're going to be taxing people a bit more. Okay, we've got some things to worry about. Light industrial activity on Bubble World. Okay, so our game is picking up the fact that we have other players in the game. Oh, sorry. What that is it's telling us that there are people there that don't have a defense level above 20, because if your defense is above 20, then you don't show up on a sensor sweep. For a lot of players, you do want to hide where you are. Cyborg players are a prime target early on, so they will generally raise their defense fairly quickly to at least 20 on each planet. And what have we got here? This is our insectoid world, or is this another insectoid world? Amphibians, they give us engines, I want to say. So we will dump all of our people and things there. How is it for surface minerals? You can see in the top right corner there that on the surface of this planet is 107 units of neutronium. So we're going to beam up fuel because it's our planet. Going to head home, and in one turn we'll be there. We'll just move into the warp world to save. Not even a unit of fuel. Jeff's on his way, and we probably should have... Oh, we really should have brought some colonists along to populate that. We failed on 2 counts there. And we didn't name him. There you go, Bob. Have a name. So, Bob is on his way to kill this planet. Please tell me I didn't use... Yes, no, I didn't make mines, thank God. Okay, well, that's it. No. Dashboard will just go to our starbase. Build ship. Can we make another? No, we still can't make another nebula. We are still broke. Is that taking into account our available supplies? No, it's not. Well, then we want to go to the planet. Build. Do that. That should make all the difference. Yeah, there we go. Transwarps, X-rays, Mark 4s. That should do the trick. And we're just going to beat on him. We might actually send this one to clean up these planets here. X-ray lasers. Weapons, energy weapons in the game, beam weapons in the game have 2 functions. First one is causing damage to the other ship. The other one is killing crew. X-ray lasers, disruptors will kill people before they damage the ship. So they're very handy for capturing, especially early in the game, capturing wayward freighters. Okay, running that turn. Coming back. Oh, we've had some combat this time around. Let's see. Oh, we've captured a ship. We've captured a planet. Yay. Okay, so that's the enemy. Oh god, we're gonna waste our torpedoes on this thing. That makes me sad. Jeff, what are you doing? I love the dramatic combat music. Wow. 1 volley and it's ours. Okay. And next, the homeworld. So they've upgraded their defense reasonably well. Not well enough, but they have upgraded their defense. Yeah, I saw that coming. It's more the heavy phases on the planet that worry me, but torpedoes have a greater range. You can do it! Ow. It's satisfying when all of those heavy phases go off, but ow. Oh. Even if we don't get this, then we'd have it next turn. There we go. Our ship is fucked up as fucked up gets, but we won it. Okay, so going to the star map, we've just got to clean this one up now. So we're going to send Bob that way into the warp well. He'll be there next turn. We've got our other Nebula class cruiser who's going to go there, and we're going to give him, I don't know, give him 20 torpedoes, 100 units of fuel because laziness. Tell them to make torpedoes. Warp 9, engage. Actually, we'll go there in case there is something that went that way. I doubt there was. It looked like that was like the other side was just making a run, dumping everyone there, coming back. Yeah, they were going to dump everyone there, and so forth. We need to name you because, well, it's a thing now. We've got Bob, we've got Jeff. We'll give you Harold. Okay, the USS Pineapple is home. We'll send him. It's not going to matter because next turn we'll take this remaining purple world and it'll be victory. But you know, effort still. So we'll make a decent effort for this. That one is the one that we captured. We shall name him the USS Buttplug, though it looks like a very uncomfortable one at that. Now we're not going to do much with him except dump these colonists back on the planet. Oh, because we captured the world, we put all of their population to the sword. So Jeff's been busy. Not only has he claimed a homeworld, but he's massacred at least 2.6 odd million people. Gotta take my hat off to Jeff. Kinda gotta respect those numbers. So Jeff's earned a rebuild, but we don't have a starbase here. Why don't we have I thought we got the starbase with the planet. I'm sad. We can build a starbase though. We've got the resources to build one, so we're going to build one, and next turn there'll be a starbase there that we can use. And then we can repair Jeff. Friendly code will change. Dashboard, we're just going to go straight to the next turn because this should be the game. 1 VCR. Yep, Solar Federation in slot 2 are now dead. So we'll watch this for posterity. Oh, planet with rings. High action gameplay. You can up the speed of it. Or go straight to the result. Or if you really want to draw it out because you know that you're going to lose anyway. So yeah, we won that. We've won the game. That is the game. We can end turn right now, but we'll have a quick look at the star map. Bearing in mind, this game took, you know, as long as it took. Turns will take for bloody ever in a longer game. So if you're playing 11-player game, 500 planets in a 2,000 light year world. Oh, these are ion storms, by the way. I'll come to these in a moment. If you're playing 11 players, 500 planets, after about turn 60, turns will start taking hours at a time. Let that sink in. You will spend hours at a time playing one move, planning one move. Frankly, I find chess relaxing by comparison to the stress of the other end of one of these games. In fact, in the news feed, I'll bring up that news feed when we finish just for Gits and Shields, but there is one game that's gone for years, which only ended a couple of months ago, apparently. Anyway, so we've won. That's all there is to it. End the turn. I don't know what it's going to tell us this time. The other side are dead. Normally you get a little victory thing. We're not getting the victory one here. I don't get that. Solar Federation are now dead. Good, fuck them. I don't think it's actually going to... It doesn't post it in like a public message board. No, we'll cancel. We'll cancel it. Okay. So you can see other players here interacting with each other. 7th year in the reign of SMN. You can compete with other players. There is a championship every few months, and the winner of that championship attains the rank of Emperor until someone else wins the championship, and they get to design. Pardon me, burping. They get to design a ship. There are some pretty cool ships out there that have come from the people who have won these things. One of them, where is it? Emork, I believe. Is he here? Yeah, Emork the Lizard King has won 2 championships. Hats off to that. Anyway, so yeah, Capricorn War. How long did that go? 600 turns. Often we're talking 1 turn a week to 3 turns a week for some games. So let that sink in. 600 turns. Anyway, that is VGA Planets.Nu. I might actually get into some more of this in my own off time, but I just wanted to showcase it so that there is something now that people can see and get the namesake of the channel. It is, yes, I get there is the cartoon out there. I will never forget the cartoon, but there is also the video game. And the channel's namesake, or the channel's name, comes from a mixture of the two. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream there briefly, and I'll pick up in a moment with some Baldur's Gate. Until then, cheers.